This is my 2015 Ram 3500 service truck that I've been in the process of building. I had a 95 F-150 that I was using as a quote-unquote service truck, but this one's quite the upgrade. I can do a lot more with it, and I'm pretty happy with it so far. It's been quite the process, but we're getting real close to complete. So 2015 3500, it's four-wheel drive. It's got the 6-speed. That was the big catch for me. On the inside, I haven't done too much. I want to get the 3-cup holder center console top piece because they don't make a seat cover for that one, only for the 3-cup holder one. So that's someday. Some Covercraft. Oh, those are nice and dirty. Covercraft seat covers. WeatherTech floor liners, dirty. I need to do some cleaning in here. And then I also got a Edge CTS3 to watch EGTs when towing and to run switches off of it, because that's a feature that they have that I like that idea. And so I guess starting from the front, the only thing I really did was cosmetic, expensive cosmetic. I got I think it's a Bighorn, an early 4th gen Bighorn grill and bumper with fog lights. Those are just fake right now. They're not hooked up to anything. And then I found a set of 17-inch Alcoas, which are kind of difficult to find. And I sanded them all the way down, and I cut and buffed them, and I polished them, and I sanded them again because I messed it up. And I did it about 3 times, but I'm happy with them. They're kind of dirty right now. I kind of just sprayed this thing off to make this video. I got some chrome mirrors, aftermarket, because I like the chrome and white. I think it looks good. And then I got some new cab lights because my old ones were pretty yellowed. This thing sat in the sun for a long time before I got it. And that's about it for real cosmetic stuff. Coming back around to the back, this is a 2025 Norstar SD service deck, I think is what it technically is called. It's like it's a hybrid between a hauler bed and a service body, and it kind of meets everything that I was looking for in a service truck. When I got this bed, we didn't have any goosenecks. Now we got 2, so I guess it worked out pretty good. So I custom ordered this. They make these in Texas. I picked it up from a dealer about 3 hours away from here. And that experience was good. I guess I'll start with a couple things that I'm not too fond of currently. There's rust along the seam that's caulked instead of welded. I don't know why it's not welded. So like over there, it's all just rusting. It's all visual stuff, but it's irritating. I've been in contact with Norstar and I haven't received anything. I put a warranty claim out probably about a month ago, and I haven't got any information back. Besides that, I like the layout. I like all the drawers you have on each side. I like this flip up here. I'm gonna go through it here in a second, but I'm just doing a quick overview. So I fully installed that, and I use the gooseneck quite often. It works good for that. And that's just about a rundown of the outside. Other than that, everything's stock. I don't want to do any deletes because I'm in California and that's not a good idea. So no power upgrades. It does all right. I've gone maybe sort of over that number off highway, of course. So don't call me out for that. So I'm going to go through all my drawers real quick with my layout. So like I said, I had that F-150. I still have it, but I had it pretty much full. I don't think you could get much more in there. So I transferred everything over to this truck, and now it makes this thing look empty because that truck was so full and it had much less room. So I got the C-Tech manufacturing drawer pack. That was one of the options I ordered with this bed. I kind of was going to wait, and then I thought I might as well just do it. Then I'll get it set up how I like it. So in the top drawer, For now, I just have the 3/8 that I had in pack outs in the F-150. I'd like to get some 1/2 inch. What I'll probably do is get some 1/2 inch and then reorganize this and get the vertical socket holders. This drawer, I just got metric and SAE wrenches up to 1 inch and I think 22 millimeters. Some crescent wrenches. I need to get some bigger stuff. And this one's just full of screwdrivers. Everything looks new. It is pretty new. I'm fairly new at this, so don't flame me, please. And then I got some pliers, wire strippers, picks, all that stuff. This drawer is basically empty. I think this one is empty. So that's what's nice, is there's a lot of room to work with. So that's the front compartment on the driver's side. This is on a slider, which is nice. And I just keep gloves and some PPE stuff in here that I would grab daily, because just flip that up and pull it out. It's nice. You don't have to open the whole big drawer. This is probably the best compartment we got going on. So it's got all my Milwaukee stuff in it, my power tools. This is a pretty, seems like a common layout for service trucks. You know, you got a long drawer and you have your power tools in it. So I got the 1/2 inch still. I got everything that's in here was in that other truck. So I'm kind of just going over it real quick. Got a square in there. And then this one's probably locked. It is locked. Bummer. Let's see if I got my keys on me. The kind of funny thing about this bed is I went and picked it up and I got about 15 keys, because there's 2 keys for each compartment. And I'm not going to show you them because you never know who's watching. So I got just a stash of keys hidden in my other toolbox that I'll never do anything with. I do like how these latches are compression and they're quarter turn too. So you know, even if you just had it not latched down, it's still not going to come loose and fall out. So if you open that up, I got straps in there, various sizes for various tasks. And coming around the back, just got the shovel box that you can't really fit a shovel in. I have a 3-foot pry bar in there and it fits just perfectly. But what's nice is you can throw some kind of long things in there, maybe a mini shovel. That'd be ideal at some point. And then it's got an integrated receiver that's good for 18,000. Yeah, 18.5, which is nice. I think this will do a little more than 18.5 on the trailer, but that's all right. And then I got a B&W toe and stow with the 2-inch and 2 5/16. They just came out with it recently. It's fairly new, because it's good for 21,500 pounds. It's 2 5/16 and then the pintle on top. And we don't have any pintles. We do have a couple light plants, so I wanted that option. You never know what the future would bring. So coming along to the other side, same box layout. Front compartment, it's kind of got some consumable stuff in it, so brake clean, fluids, coolant, oil, welding mask. I got my first aid kit in here, kind of some just stuff you might grab on the daily basis, some hand wipes and stuff. And then, like I keep mentioning, I went from having no space to having way too much. So this box is locked too, but it's empty. There's nothing in there. This one is basically empty, and that one just has a Milwaukee light in there. So I got plenty of room now. I can grow out my tools, which is great. I like that, but I'm sure my wallet doesn't. So that's basically what we got going on this side. I'll just give you a quick look at it again. Just got new tires. They're 33 1050s. They're as wide as you can go on the duals without having to put a spacer with the factory wheels. And I didn't want to put a spacer. I know people say it's fine, but also I like that the tires aren't sticking out too far. That's nice. I just finished putting these mud flaps on, because as you can see right there, flings out past the edge. So I'll probably have to do something about sticking that on there somehow. And then coming into the back, I have a 75-gallon Boyd welding transfer tank. So they make these tanks to be able to fit under a tonneau cover and a pickup. So it just so happens to be exactly the same height as the top of this box. So I looked hard to try to find one, and I landed on the Boyd. I didn't really need an aluminum one because I've heard that, you know, they crack or whatever. But it was the perfect fit. The only, it sticks up the height of the weld on the side, so it's fine, it's perfect. You can still see through the back window, which was a big thing I wanted to be able to do, to cheat, to back up the trailer, hook up the trailer. And it's got a mechanical fuel gauge on it, which is pretty nice, and then a billet cap and a rollover vent. And there's two MPT 1/2 inch plugs down there that you could run, well, one's a drain or could be used as a drain, and one you could run a line to your fill for your truck tank. So that's cool. I'm not going to do that, but then I got a 15 gallon per minute GPI pump. So this comes with the tank. If you ordered this tank online, you would get the GPI pump and a standard nozzle, not an auto shut off. And then I separately ordered a filter head, and it came with the filter, and 2 swivels. So I got 1 swivel there and 1 swivel right here on the nozzle itself, so you can bend it any way you want. And then the auto shut off, because I wouldn't really walk away fueling up equipment, but you never know. It's nice to have it if you get caught up. So that's nice. It fits in there really good. I haven't had any issues with it so far. I think I've only gone through 1 tank on it. So that's nice. And like I said, the biggest thing was looking out the window. I still wanted to be able to see. And the depth was a big thing too, because I didn't want to get too close to the ball. But as it is right now, I got my sacrificial ice chest. So if something happens and I hit that, I'm going to hit the ice chest first, and I can still leave that there and do a full, get it 90 degrees, and it doesn't hit anything. So that's good. There's some tie downs in this bed in here, and there's interior lighting there. That is something I want to put in the toolboxes too, is some interior lighting. But what's cool about that transfer tank is I have it run to the edge. So I had mentioned earlier, I have the switches for the edge. So if I turn the screen on, if it wants to cooperate, because sometimes it doesn't, I got EGTs in the middle, because that's kind of the most important thing. RPM, load, fuel, all that stuff. And it's probably not going to cooperate right now. I don't know, you can run it without the key on, but then sometimes you got to turn the key on, and then it's going to get upset. And basically there's a power switch. If you swipe the screen, it looks like a rocker switch panel, and you can apparently start recording the screen. Here we go. Nope. Come on. Come on. Nope. It is slightly inconvenient. Sometimes I wish I would have just ran a hard switch. You can turn on the transfer tank, so you can't go back here right now and get fuel out of there without turning that switch on, which is nice. I leave the truck unlocked with the keys in it most of the time, so if someone really wanted the fuel, they could probably figure it out. It is what it is. But I also have that switch run to these auxiliary lights that are in the bed. So they don't come on with the reverse lights. You can turn them on, and they're actually angled out a little bit, so you can see out to the corners, which is nice. That switch runs to a switch panel in here, which is right there. And so this switch is always on, so when I turn that switch on in the cab, those lights come on. And then if I left that switch on, I can come out here and hit this one and get those lights to come on. And then there's also like a little USB charger. At some point, I'm gonna get my inverter set up, and I think I want to mount it vertical right there, because it's kind of a dead area. That's like the shelving on the other side is supposed to go right there. So I'll put the inverter here, and then put a rapid charger probably here, and maybe my Streamlight charger here. I wanted to put it in the cab, but I think it'll be okay out here. The only issue with that is that these compartments sweat quite a bit. So I don't really like the electronics getting wet. I mean, you can see down there in the corner maybe. but there's some rust already going on. Ideally that wouldn't be the case, but you kind of don't really get a choice because I don't have the skills to build this bed. So I'm not going to complain too much, I guess. Like I said, I tried to get in contact. I haven't heard anything. Maybe this will poke the bear and I can get some information. The biggest thing was that front passenger compartment was leaking like a substantial amount of water, and it hadn't even rained that much when we first got it, and it just takes you off a little bit when you spend a decent amount of money on something and it immediately is failing. But yeah, besides that, like I said, quite the upgrade over the F-150. And I'll try to do another update on this truck here pretty soon. Like I said, I want to get that inverter in, get my tools laid out a little better. I've kind of just been working on it. Like last week, I had to replace the clutch in it. That was kind of a bummer. Went from the factory dual mass flywheel to a single mass with the dual disc, which is not, I mean, it's a good upgrade, but it's just not something you want to do. Like, I'd rather not work on it at all, but here you are. And then the turbo actuator is bad, but that's under warranty. So yeah, thanks for watching.